Shana Tova. So here we are, Erev Rosh Hashanah of 5778, September 20th, 2017. This is a day, I'd like to say that this is a day that we've been waiting for many years, but the fact of the matter is that we've changed the date of this dedication so many times. We've probably only been waiting for this date maybe a couple of months or so. It's May. Yeah. But this particular day, we've been waiting for. This event, I should say, we've been waiting for many, many years. And it's a beautiful thing that we're about to do because we're about to dedicate a section of this synagogue to our history. And we've got two synagogues to take care of. We have Bethpage Jewish Community Center, and we have Midway Jewish Center. And through our combined synagogues, we have created quite a force on the North Shore of Long Island. I've been thinking about the wonderful words in our Machzor Zachrenu L'Chaim, God remember us for life. And it's an interesting kind of idea to remember for life, because I think that's what we're doing today. We are remembering our history, but we are remembering our history because we are so confident about the future. We have faith in where this synagogue is going to be 5, 10, 20 years from now. It takes a lot of work to have faith in an institution. It takes a lot of work to keep a place going, but it also takes knowing where you've been. And that's what we've done today. We have brought together artifacts, photos, lists of things that have made us who we are today, and that will better prepare us for who we will be tomorrow. So I'd like to call on our president, Michael Kohler, for a few words at this time.
Erev Tov, everybody. Shana Tova. Thank you very much, Rabbi. So I'm honored to be here tonight. This ceremony represents the culmination of a lot of thought, discussion, time, and effort. I recall a discussion at a Board of Trustees meeting back when Mark Elefant was president, I think, about the naming issue. I didn't know what they were talking about. But as luck would have it, I soon was asked to help form and head up a new committee we came to call the Remembrance Committee. And before I forget, I want to thank those that served at one point or another on that committee. Yitz Rubin, Jason Salzberg, Don Lustig, Audrey Amer, Beth Charles, Harold Guttenplan, Eliza Goldman, Debbie Kolodny, Allison Katz, Eric Schwartz. Maybe I should just name the people that were not on the committee. Seymour Spiegel, Claire Salant, Terry Fields, and Cindy Schechter. I thank them all for their assistance. The charge of this committee was to address this naming issue, which I quickly learned referred to the names of our former clergy, like Rabbi Rubenstein, for whom the sanctuary was previously named, and Cantor Berger, for whom the religious school was previously named. The issue, of course, was that the actual walls that bore those names were literally torn down with the renovation of our building and no longer existed. When were their names going back up, we were asked. What about Cantor Moshe Dubinsky? What is being named for him in his honor? The other and perceived lesser, and not lesser, easier topic this committee addressed was the Tree of Life. The consolidation agreement between Bethpage Jewish Community Center and Midway spoke of both old trees being displayed in, quote, one collection. Well, as we soon learned, with completely different looking trees with different size, shape, and color leaves, that task was certainly easier said than done. Now remember, this was all being discussed before the sanctuary renovation project ever got off the ground. And soon that project took center stage and commanded significant time, attention, and resources. Nevertheless, during that time, we successfully created a brand new, beautiful Tree of Life right down the hallway, which we dedicated 2 years ago this evening, which certainly held faithful to that commitment to display one collection. As the adjacent plaque states to the tree, quote, this tree reminds us of the two communities, Bethpage Jewish Community Center and Midway Jewish Center, which came together and now grow as one. The roots of this tree, like those of our two communities, are intertwined forever. Naming a sanctuary or school or hall for an individual is intended to serve several purposes. We honor and remember that person for who they were and what they did and meant for the congregation. But as memories fade and individual members age and pass on, are we truly honoring or remembering a person when all we know about them is their name as it hangs above a doorpost or on the wall? So instead, we made a commitment to create a historical hallway that will help educate our members, honor our past clergy, and keep the history of our congregation alive. Shortly, we will reveal painted portraits of Rabbi Finkelstein, Rabbi Rubenstein, Cantor Berger, and Cantor Dubinsky, accompanied by a brief biography discussing their lives and contributions to Midway over the years. More than just a name over a door, our members and children will now be able to see and learn who came before them and learn of the history of our wonderful synagogue. Additionally, these cutout alcoves that until now served as a place for kids to climb in and sit are now beautiful glass enclosures housing Judaica memorabilia from Midway Jewish Center in Bethpage. With the timeline highlighting significant events and photos dating back more than 50 years, we now truly have a mini museum for all of us to learn about the history of both Midway Jewish Center and Bethpage Jewish Community Center. So, about 4.5 years since I first sent an email inviting people to join the Remembrance Committee, I'm truly honored, proud, and relieved to say our work here is done. The true chef family.
We're going to ask Cantor to give us a few words of prayer.
Just a few words of Torah as we welcome in a new year this evening. And one of the themes for the high holidays is called the Sefer HaChaim, the Book of Life. One of the main motifs of the high holiday liturgy, the Book of Life. And that idea comes from the Talmud, which speaks of, in fact, not one, not two, but 3 books of life that are open up before HaKadosh Baruch Hu, before God on these days. And in one book, according to the teaching, everyone who's been perfectly righteous, their names are inscribed in that book. And in another book, everyone who's not been righteous at all, what the Talmud describes as the Rashaim, are written in there. And for most of us, we're trying to get into that other book, that 3rd book. But if we understand the phrase a little bit differently, it has a whole other meaning. Literally, the phrase is Sefer HaChaim, the word Sefer, being book, and Chaim, not just life, but lives. For the word itself is in the plural. And what it really reminds us of is that we are making inscriptions in each other's lives each and every day. We're making inscriptions in each other's lives each and every day. So when we take a moment, we think about that, and the inscriptions that we gain by being part of a community. We reflect back and remember just how deeply enriched our lives have been. And when we think back to the collective history of these congregations, it goes back even further. So the words that are in our hearts, the inscriptions that have been made by those who have come before us. And so this hallway helps us to become more mindful of those who have come before us. We stand on their shoulders and enables us to look to the future with confidence for tomorrow, knowing that we'll continue to make inscriptions in each other's lives, not just today, not just tomorrow, but for years yet to come.
It's only 6:33.
We're right on.
The script says 6:35. I have 2 minutes to wait. So,
I yield the balance of my time.
Democrat from Minnesota. So it is now my honor to introduce and call up several people integral to this project. But before I do, I must recognize several others that without their help, this project would not have been completed. First, I want to recognize Joel Podell, who is here tonight, and Larry Schwartz, who can't be with us. As Joel likes to say, without that fateful meeting in the diner that's now a bank, we never would have been here this evening. I want to thank Mark Elfand and Mason, for whom I served under and this project began. I want to thank Mark Friedman. Enough can't be said about the time and expertise he dedicates to so many projects around this building and the rabbis' homes and the early childhood center. He truly is a gift for us. Our head custodian, Jim Hader, for fixing the water damage, spackling, painting, and cleaning, and then fixing the water damage, spackling, painting, and cleaning, but finally hanging all the photos and arranging all the beautiful artwork. I want to thank Jack Flax, who, coming through near the end, was helping to push us across the finish line with the work of the company, all the grass work. And of course, I want to thank Rabbi Rank, Rabbi Levinson, Jania, all the staff here that helped use your office as a storage room for some time to help make sure this project came to completion. So I'm going to call up three sets of people. First, I want to recognize Beth and Barry Charles. Beth, I could say, I have my own Beth, but this Beth is being a constant thorn in my side every step of the way. Beth served with me from the beginning of this committee and was helpful at every stage, from helping to design the Tree of Life and meeting with the designers, to counting the number of leaves on each tree when we went to the storage facility, to drafting the exact wording of several of the plaques that we'll see tonight. And believe it or not, those lovely words next to the Tree of Life, I couldn't believe it that Beth and Barry actually wrote them, but I'm told it's true. That's that one. So I'd like to call Beth and Barry up here. I believe they're going to be unveiling this portion, but no, we got to do it once. I'm just saying.
Stay on this side.
Stay on this side. Okay, I'm going to stand here. So
we're going to do 1, 2, 3, all together.
Yeah, all together.
Next, I want to introduce and thank Brad Kolodny and Jody Fondman. Soon after becoming president last year, I asked our in-house synagogue historian, Brad, to take on this task and see it to completion. I asked him to bring Jody on board, who, through her family's company, Marlin Art, already had helped Rabbi Rank with the creation of the painted portraits, for her framing and presentation expertise. We would not be standing here dedicating this hallway today without the efforts and hard work of both Brad and Debbie. Brad.
I just spent more time with him than my husband.
Can I just say a couple of things about what we're going to see once it's unveiled?
Is it on the schedule?
Do we have 30 seconds? So, as many of you may know, Midway Jewish Center began in 1953. So, over the last 64 years, there have been so many important moments and historical occasions that we wanted to put on display. For so many years, there are items that have been in storage or pictures in a file that have been tucked away in a cabinet. And we felt it was really important to bring these things out so everybody can enjoy the history of both Midway Jewish Center and Bethpage Jewish Community Center. So if you are a newer member, you may not know when the synagogue was built, 1958. And you also might not know that this room over here used to be a full-size basketball court. So those things will be highlighted in the display. If you were at Bethpage Jewish Community Center, you may remember that there was a fire to the building in the late 1960s, and that is documented as well. And if your father or husband's name happens to be Alan Noodleman, you'll see in the display that you may remember that he was Man of the Year for Bethpage Jewish Community Center one year. So we hope you enjoy what we put together. Jody and I worked really hard. It was a lot of fun, and we just hope that everybody will enjoy seeing it, especially the members, and many of them who are here tonight, who played such an important role in making these things happen. So we owe all of you, the most senior members of our congregation, a debt of gratitude for bringing us to the point where we are today.
So I know Brad and Jody will be
In the center.
unveiling the Sept niches.
All right.
Good job.
And lastly, I want to introduce and thank Ellen Dubitsky, the widow of the beloved Cantor Moish, who, while I never had the opportunity to meet because he passed away before we joined Midway in 2003, was universally beloved by all. We invite Ellen to reveal the portraits and bios of our past clergy.
Okay, I think we'll,
This is
we can, yeah, we'll have to spread out to take it down a little bit.
The big reveal?
Are we counting?